What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video we have the GTR back on the channel. Haven't filmed the car in quite some time, but you've already read the title. Is now the time to sell your Nissan GTR? We'll get into my own personal opinions on if I'm going to sell this car later in today's video, but looking at the used market, it is crazy for the R35s right now. Now, I bought this car at the beginning of 2018. I paid $67,000 and this had 24,000 miles on it, one owner car, clean Carfax, regularly maintained at the same Nissan dealer that sold it brand new, and I bought it from that same dealer. So this was an absolute gem to find. I now have around 42,000 miles and I absolutely love this car. I'm on full E85 flex fuel right now, making 700 horsepower, and it's been the best car I've ever owned. I truly love owning it, and I really don't plan on ever not having a GTR in the garage. So I spent some time on the internet this morning taking a look at the used market. Like I said, it's ridiculous, so let's go over some numbers. So to take a look at the actual used car market and new car market for the R35s, I spent some time this morning just taking a look at Auto Trader, seeing what was around for the R35s from 2009 up to 2021. So I went with the cheapest cars first. So I found a 2010, a 2009, and then another 2009. We are looking at the cheapest one at $68,000. The other two, $69,800 and $69,800 as well. So $68,000 to $69,000. These cars, one of them had 45,000 miles. The other two had around 20,000 each. Keep in mind, these are first year cars, 2009, which is well over a decade old. And all three of these cars did have accidents on the Carfax. Those were the cheapest ones I could find on the internet. So I continued looking now. I went to the 2017 and up, which is the pretty much second generation of the car, the facelift, new rear end, new interior as well, a little bit more performance, and a much smoother transmission. So these ones, the cheapest ones I could find, were around $93,000 to $96,000. Pretty good mileage, ranging from 23,000 to 30,000 miles. So that's not too bad. I kept looking and found a few more, and then I got into the $100,000 range very quickly with the 14,000 mile range. Anything under 20 was a six-figure car, which is crazy to think about. When I bought this car, almost 4 years ago, the 2017s were in that low $80,000 range. Now we're talking $90,000 at the cheapest and averaging close to 100 grand. So I looked at a few brand new ones. They're around $120,000. I built one as well and found two within 500 miles. I found one white one with the red interior like my current car, and I found one Bayside blue. Both were 120 grand. So you can get a brand new one for that price. And then I looked at cars that were very similar to my own. I found a 2014 car with 41,100 miles. It was a gray black edition. My car has the premium interior package, which is like a $5,000 option. So this car pretty much spot on. They're asking $89,000. I bought this car for $67,000, and here is a comp, a very, very direct comp, for almost $90,000. That is ridiculous. So then I continued looking and I found a 2013 premium with 85,000 miles now for 70 grand. 85,000. That's double what I have on it for still more than I originally paid years ago. So I continued looking again. I found a few more, and they were around the $63,000 mark. And this was a 2010 with 72,000 miles, a 2013 with almost 60K, and then another 2009 with 20,000. So you're seeing a lot of the first year cars, even low mileage, are still around mid 60s to $70,000. Cars just like my car are going for that $80,000 to $90,000 mark, and then the second gen cars are going for roughly 100. So I found a few more comps to my own car with that low 40,000 mile mark, and I found a 2012 for 75 grand. So now we're talking about a car that was almost 10 grand more than mine, and yet this is an older car. The 2012 is not as good as a 14. Transmission isn't quite as advanced. This 2015 I found 80 grand, same mileage as my current car, and that is a premium as well. 1 year newer, of course, and then a 16 model year with my same mileage for $85,000. So it is crazy, the market. They are definitely going for a ton of money. So that is the used car market for the R35 GTRs. Clearly, they are going for crazy money. If you've owned your GTR for a few years like myself, you're looking to make a substantial amount of money if you sell your car. I can sell this right now realistically for almost a $20,000 profit. I was not expecting that number when I was going into this video, but when I just did the research this morning, finding the comps out there, I mean, I could easily ask 85 grand for this car and very easily look competitive in the market. I don't know 100% if they are selling for those prices asked, but if they're listing for those prices, they're probably not too far off. For any of you who are new to the channel, I did actually work at a car dealership for 3 years as the marketing manager, and my job was to buy all of our pre-owned inventory and price it. So I have a pretty good grasp on the used car market, how cars are sold and what they're worth. That was my profession for a few years until I went YouTube full time. So then, is it time to sell your Nissan GTR? If you've owned it for a while, you're looking at making a lot of money, and $20,000 is a nice chunk to make on especially a car that has been so much fun. But if you're looking to sell your car, to make the money on it, the reason you would want to sell it is if you're not looking to replace your car with another GTR. If you're leaving the platform, this is a great time. You'll make a lot of money on your car, and that definitely makes a lot of sense. There's a lot of new cars out there going for MSRP. If you're looking to buy a new car, let's just say a brand new M4 or something like that, or a new Shelby Mustang Mach 1, I don't know. Whatever new car you're looking for, you're gonna make money on this, and even though, of course, a new car will probably depreciate, that is still a good way to go if you're changing platforms. If you're not looking to change platforms, but like I said, if you're leaving the platform, now is the time to sell it. So should you buy it then? That's the question, because they're going for a lot of money. If you buy it now, which we're at a crazy market where everything is super high, if you buy high, is it gonna crash to where you're going to absolutely lose your butt on the car? Not 100%. So I've been watching the GTR market ever since I bought the car, and even before 2020, before the market just went crazy with shutdowns and things like that, these cars have always been holding their value very well. Before 2020, back in 2019, you could find some for $45,000 to $55,000, like original cars, 09s, 010s, things like that. It wasn't that hard to find. My car was still going for the mid to low $60,000 range, and since I paid $67, at the time I was seeing a lot of 2013s to 2015s going for around $63,000 to $65,000. So I knew my car, especially being I'm the second owner of it, clean Carfax, all that kind of stuff, I knew I could get top dollar in the previous market, probably around 65 grand. So for me at that point, owning this car for a few years, only losing a couple $1,000 bucks, that's a pretty good deal, especially with obviously cars depreciate. So the GTRs have historically held value very well, and right now they are at a crazy high. So if you were to buy a similar car to mine right now for the $85,000 mark, when the bubble pops in a few more years, you're probably gonna be looking at least a $20,000 loss. So I don't really know if it's the best time to buy one. The only reason why it would be the best time to buy one is if you simply want a GTR. This is absolutely the most fun car I've ever owned, and I absolutely love it, and I don't regret a single thing about owning it. I would buy this every single day of the week if I could. So if you want a GTR, the market is what it is, so you kind of have to take that as it is and buy a car of whatever you can afford. And hopefully you own the car for quite a while. That way the $20,000 hit you'll probably take if you were to sell it in 3 years from now. At least that'll make some sense if you own it for a long time. So it's definitely a seller's market. You know, the numbers don't lie. Markets are crazy right now, and if you want to make a quick buck, go ahead and sell your car, make $20,000, and you can put that towards whatever else you'd like. So with all that said, am I gonna be selling my car right now even though the market is crazy high? Heck no, I'm not selling my car. I love this car so much. It has brought so much fun to my life. It's ridiculous. I can't even explain how much fun the car really has. And the biggest issue is I love the GTR platform so much. If I sell this, I need to get another GTR. I'm not gonna not have one of these in the garage. It's too much of a fun car to not have, in my opinion. So for me, I would only trade this in for a 2017 or newer to get the newer car, of course. There's no sense of getting a 15 or a 16 because it's the same car. So if I got a 17, 18, or 19, you know, something like that, I'm talking $95,000 realistically thinking. With that said, I could sell my car for, yeah, probably 80 to 85 grand. I would put it back to stock because all my parts would transfer to the new car. But then I'm still talking about spending a solid $10,000 to $15,000 more just to get into the other car. And while that kind of does not sound like too much money, that's not that bad, and I make a lot of money on this car, then I'm buying high, of course, with a newer car, and in a few years, if I were to sell it for whatever, you know, then it's probably gonna be worth less than what I paid. So I'm still gonna lose that money regardless, so it doesn't really make too much sense, and the hassle of finding one is a ton. These are hard cars to find, and because I enjoy it so much, I don't really wanna take the sell this now and months later finally find the new one. So for me, I wonder what the best decision is. Obviously, selling my car right now, while I could make a nice chunk on it, and then I have to spend even more than that just to get into the new one, doesn't really make too much sense since my car is perfect. I know everything about it, and it just has a lot of sentimental value to me just because I've owned it for so long and put in so much work to make it what it is. Honestly, I think the best bet is to ride out the market until it does crash, and once it crashes, pick up another GTR, a newer one, and then maybe 6 months to a year later, that's when I would sell this one. Hopefully maybe the market picks back up, or at least after the crash it gets more flat, and at least I could probably get top dollar for an average good market. So I think that makes a lot more sense. The Supra will probably be the one that goes to get into another GTR, and I'll probably have 2 of these for a little bit just to make the money work the best. But it's a crazy market right now. If you are looking to sell your GTR, now is the time. You're going to make a crap load on your car, and as long as you're going towards another platform, that's a good way to go. Or if you're even going for a brand new one, maybe you were planning on getting a new one anyways, you can get a new one for MSRP, but if you want a new one, 120 grand is about the going rate, and the money you just made on the old car, that's a lot of money to go towards a new one anyways. So I think that is everything I wanted to talk about the selling market right now for the R35s. Like I said, crazy market. Comment below if there's other cars that are doing crazy things like this car is, especially in my world, being around this car for so long. It's funny to watch the market change. If somebody does want to buy my car though, realistically, to make it worth my while, I think I would sell it for maybe 90 to 95. I would want to keep at least a few of my parts, my wheels, my exhaust, maybe the flex fuel kit, a few little things like that. But realistically, I think that would be my selling price because I don't want to sell. I love the car. I want to keep it for many more years to come. But if anyone does want it, you know, make it worth my while. So anyways, I think that's about it for today's video. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed today's video, give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button, and stay tuned for plenty more content to come. And I'll see you guys in the next video.